Welcome to the Git and GitHub tutorial. I am Aryan Irani, and this tutorial we're going to be going through the basics of Git and GitHub. Also, we'll be covering all the main concepts that are involved in Git and GitHub, and it will get you started with your GitHub journey. So the tutorial is going to be covering the following topics that we have here: introduction to Git, we'll be setting up and installing Git, then we'll be creating our first repository from the terminal using Git commands. Next, we're going to be staging and committing files in GitHub using the git command. Then we're going to be using git merge and git checkout to carry out some more functions on Git. Then we're going to be taking a short introduction to what is GitHub, followed by creating a repository on GitHub, pushing codes and pushing branches to GitHub. Then we're going to be forking and cloning a repository. And in the end, we're going to be making a pull request. So let's get started. What is Git? Git is the most commonly used version control system. Git tracks the changes you make to the file, so you have a record of what has been done, and if you want to revert to it, you can revert to specific versions if you ever need to. Git also makes collaboration very easy. Git also makes collaboration really easy. Multiple people can be working on a specific project. Now we're going to be going ahead and installing Git. So I'm just going to go to a new tab, and you can just type in install Git. You go here, you can see this one. So I already have a Git downloaded. So you just need to click. So if you have Mac OS, Windows, Linux, Unix, it's gonna detect it automatically, and just click on download. And here you just need to go keep on clicking next and next, and in the end you will have an option that says install Git. And after that, your Git will be successfully installed. Now I'm just going to go to my command prompt, is present here, and just going to zoom in a bit. Now I need to check whether Git has successfully been downloaded. So I'm just going to be using the command called git version. But to enter, it's telling me Git 2.33 Windows 2. So Git has successfully been downloaded. Now that we have installed it, it's time to set up GitHub. For that, we're going to be using two commands. That's going to be git config config dash global username. I'll be providing a Google Doc which will be containing all these commands sequentially. I'll be leaving the link in the description. You can copy and work with it. Here we're going to be putting in the username. So this is very important if you make changes in your code. So we need to exactly track who has made it with what name and what email address. So we need to set it up. So I'm going to be doing Aryan Irani here, and the name has successfully been saved. And we're going to be doing the same command once again, but this time it's going to be user.email. So we know exactly which email is making which change in which part of the code. I'm going to do aryanrani123@gmail.com. I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on enter. So we have successfully set it up. Now let's go ahead and check one more time whether we have got the details successfully. So I'm just going to do git config global user.name, and it should print your name that you have added here. If I do the same thing for user.email, it's going to show me rnrani123@gmail.com. So now that everything is set up, let's create a new directory where I'm going to be creating some files and I'm going to be publishing them to GitHub. So we're going to start off by creating a new folder using the mkdir command that creates a new directory. And I'm going to be saying this is going to be git learn. I'm going to name it, and on clicking enter, the new directory has successfully been created. Now I'm going to be changing the directory. For that, I'm going to be using the cd command, change directory, and I can just go here. I can just do git into git learn, and I have successfully switched to the git learn directory. So here, let's take another recap. I have changed my directory by creating a new one called git learn, and then next I switch to the directory using the cd command. Now that everything is ready, let's go ahead and create our first repository. So before we create some code in our file here, we need to first go ahead and create our first git repository. To do that, we're going to be using the git init command. This command creates an empty repository. So I'm going to bring git init. Oops, I misspelled it. It's going to be git init, and here you can see it initialized empty git repository in this. So now I'm going to be adding some code files to the folder that we created. I'm just going to go here, open the folder here. It's going to be this one. I'm going to select a folder here, and I'm just going to add some files here. So here you can see I have added a Python file that gets the sum of the elements present in a list. So now that we've created it, we have made changes to our file. We're going to be using a new command that is called git status. This command tells us or displays the state of the repository and the staging area. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to be doing git status. And here you can see there are no commits made on the branch master yet, but you can see there's an untracked file here. This means that the file has not been added to the staging area. What is staging area? Staging area is the area where the files are going to be committed to the repository. It is the buffer time or the buffer space between the working directory and the project history. Here you can see the file has not been added or it has not been tracked yet. So the GitHub or the repository doesn't know that there is a file new.py that has been created. So we're going to be using a command called git add that is going to be telling the repository that see there is a new file created called new.py that does this. So to do that, we're going to be using the git add command here. That is, and after the git add command, you need to put in the name of the file. So it's going to be new.py. If I click enter, the file has successfully been added. If we do the git status one more time, you can see that there are still no commits because we have not yet committed it to the GitHub repository yet. But the changes, but you can see that the file has been added to the staging area. That is, the git add command has successfully been worked. To commit a file to the repository, we're going to be using the git commit /m and the commit command. So it's going to be git commit -m, and here we're going to be specifying the comment that we have added. So I'm going to say new Python code. So this is, just click on enter, and here you can see one file has been committed. And now that we have committed the file, let's go ahead and use the git status command once again to see the state of the repository. If I click enter, here you can see there is nothing to commit. The working tree is clean. That means all the files have successfully been committed. Now that we have committed out the file, let's use a new command called git log. The git log command is a tool that lets you review the history. That means what has happened until now, which files have committed at what time by whom. So we're going to be doing the git log command here. So using this command, you can get all the details of the commits that you've made in your repository. So I'm just going to do git log, and here you can see author Aryan Irani with the email address this at this time as with the comment here, and the file has been committed. So on running the command, you can see the following details. The first one is the hash code, which you can use to go back and forth in commits. We'll be covering this topic a little later in this video. Then we'll talk about the branch name in which the changes are made. That's going to be the master branch or the main branch. Then the author of the commit, then the date of commit, and the message of the commit that had been made. So let's take a recap. So now we have gone over the basics of how to create a repository and how to add a .py or any type of code file to the staging area, followed by using the status command to check the status, and then we use the git commit command to commit the file to the repository, and in the end we use the git log command to check the status. Now that we have gone over the basics of how to create a repository, followed by creating a file, adding it to the staging area, checking the status, and more, let's do the same thing one more time with another file. So I'm going to be creating another file in my Visual Studio Code, and you are free to use any editor you want. I'm going to be calling it as multiply.py. So here I've added the multiply.py file. So now I'm just going to go to my command prompt, and I'm going to be doing the git status command, and let's check the changes that we have made. So here you can see the untracked files. It is telling me that multiply.py has not been committed and it is still under the untracked files. So what we're going to doing is we're going to be sending this file to the staging area using the git add function. It's going to be git add, and then it's going to be the file name. So it's going to be multiply.py. I'm going to click on enter. Now using the git add command, we have added the file to the staging area, followed by we're going to be using the git status command. Here you can see the file has been successfully added to the staging area, but now we need to commit the file using the git commit command. So it's going to be git commit -m, and it's going to be, I'm just going to say initial commit You're just going to click on enter, and here you can see that the one file changed. It has successfully been committed to the repository. Here you can see we have successfully committed the file to the repository. In the end, we're going to be using the git log command one last time, and we're going to be checking all the commits that have been made or are yet to be made. So here we can see that the commit with, here you can see the hash code here. If you want to zoom in a bit, in the head, that is going to be the branch, is going to, it's telling me the time, the date, and the day that I've commit with the commit message that we have made. Now we're going to be taking a look at a new command called the git checkout. The git checkout command is used to switch between branches and commits. It lets you navigate through branches. We'll be covering branches in a little later part of the tutorial. The checkout command lets you change the files content to those of a specific commit. So say I want to go back to the original commit where I did not have this multiply.py file. So I can just take in the hash code and I can put it here and I can use git checkout. So after the git checkout command, so I'm just going to type in here git checkout. So after this command, you need to either specify the commit hash, that's going to be this one, or the branch name in which you want to switch. So to get the exact hash code for each of the commits, you just need to do the git log. Since we have already done it, we won't be doing it once again. So here we have used the git log command to get all the commits. And now I'm going to be say I want to go back to this one, the original one. So I'm just going to copy this here, and I'm going to do git checkout, and I'm going to paste in the code and I'm going to click on enter. So now you can see that the multiply.py file has been dashed. That means it has been removed. This means we have gone to the previous commit that we had created. Now that if I wanted to see, okay, these were the previous changes I made, but if I close this out, now I want to go back to the original one. So we're going to be doing the same one. Is going to be git checkout, but this time we're going to be putting in main. So here I'm going to be doing git. So the main did not work, so I'm just going to do git checkout. I'm going to do master, and I can click. It's telling me switch to the branch master, and you can see here the multiply.py file has successfully come back. So until now we learned how to use the git checkout command to move through the commits. Now we're going to be taking a look at what branches is, followed by using the git checkout command to say move through branches and do more. So until now we have been making all the commits in just one branch. The main branch generally, or the master branch, it represents the stable version of your code that contains the code that is released or published to the open world. But you would not want anyone to trouble your main code while say you're working on a new feature in your product, as it messes up or it disturbs the code that you have. So say you want to add a new feature to your application, but you don't want to trouble your main code that is present. So you can create a separate environment to try out this feature, and once it is completely ready and stable, you can merge it with the main branch, and that's where branches come in. Instead of making number of commits and keeping on switching through them using the checkout function, we're going to be creating a separate environment where you can properly work on this feature. To work on a specific feature, we can create a new branch using the git branch command, which will create a separate environment where you can work on your feature. After your feature is ready and good to go, it's stable, everyone has checked it, everyone has approved it, using the git merge command, you can merge the changes back into the main branch. Now, so we're gonna before we even create branches, we would like to check which branch are we currently working in. So we're going to be doing git branch. This is the command to check the branch that you are in. So you're in the master branch at the moment. Now say you want to switch to that, or if you're not created one yet, right? So I want to create a new one. So I'm going to be doing the git branch, and now you need to specify the name of the branch that you want to create. So I'm just going to say this is going to be dev code. I'm going to click on enter. Here you can see the branch has successfully been created, but let's take one more command and check whether the branch has successfully been created. So I'm going to do git branch here, and it's showing me dev code master. That means the branch has been created, but currently we are in the master branch. Now to check out, since we talked previously, we use the git checkout to move through commits. We can use the same command to move through branches in git and github. So I'm going to do git checkout, and here you need to specify the name of the branch that you want to switch in. I'm going to do dev code. So it's telling me it has switched to branch dev code. Now I'm going to be checking one more time whether we are in the right branch. So I'm going to do git branch. You can see the dev code. That means currently we have successfully switched to the dev code branch. extra tip, if you want to create a branch directly and check out into it, yes, that's even possible. You can use the git checkout dash b followed by the name of the branch. So I'm going to be creating one more that is called rn slash code. If I click on enter, you can see switched. It is already switched to it. So if I do get branch again, it's going to be telling me I am in the rn code. But for now, I'm just going to be going back to my git dev code where I'm going to be working. So in this branch, I'm going to be creating a new file. That is a new .py file that gives the largest element of a list. Now that we have created the file, let's go ahead and add the file followed by committing it to the branch. So I'm just going to be doing git add. It's going to be the same exact procedure of how you commit, add, and add the file to the staging area using the git add. And if you want to check the status, it's going to be all the same commands. It's just working in a separate environment. At the moment, we have created a largest.py file in the dev code branch, but the master branch or even the rn slash code branch does not know that there is a new file called largest.py. So we're going to be doing git add, and here I'm going to be doing largest.py. You can see that the file has successfully been added. Now if I do the git status command, it's going to telling me the changes still need to be committed. So I'm going to be using the git commit command and the git commit slash m, and here I'm going to be doing added largest.py. Click on enter. You can see that the file has successfully been added. That means it has successfully been committed to the specific branch, that is going to be the dev code branch. Now I'm going to be using the git checkout command to switch back to my master branch. Do master. Here you can see the largest.py file has successfully been removed. So in the master branch, you cannot see the largest.py file. If I close this, it's not going to be present here. So this tells us that the main branch does not even know what's happening in the other branches, but you can solve this using the git merge command, which will merge the two branches together. So what is the git merge command? The git merge command is used to merge the features of one branch to the master or the main branch. To merge the two branches, we need to first shift to the new branch that we've created using the git branch command, and then merge the two using the git merge command. So I'm going to be here. So I'm just going to do git merge dev code. Click on enter. You can see that the file has been added, and if I go back here, you can see that the largest.py file has successfully been merged. And now if you go back here, you can see if I go to if I do git checkout dev code, and I can still see the largest.py file because now both of them have successfully been merged. And if I go to the master branch, still the largest.py file is there. But if I go to the rn, if I check out to the rn slash code branch, here the largest.py file is not present. If I go back to the master, the largest.py file is back. What is the use of branches? Why do you need it? A branch represents an independent line of development. Branches serve as an abstraction for the edit, stage, and commit process. If you're working on projects with other people, each one of you can create separate branches to work on the code that is present in the main branch. Once you're done working on your individual codes, you can merge it into the main branch. Now that we've gone through the main tools of Git, it's time to check out GitHub. In this part of the tutorial, we're going to be going through GitHub and how you can push these codes to GitHub. So what is GitHub? GitHub is a web-based interface that uses Git, the open source version control software that lets multiple people make separate changes to the code at the same time. It is a very simple and easy to use tool. On GitHub, you can work on projects, keep track of your codes, contribute to open source, and more. So here, if I go to my repositories here, I can see I have Google Apps Script, I have the Git Learn repository that we had made. Then I have my blogging website. So you can keep track of codes, you can work with other people, and you can contribute to various open source projects. So now this is my GitHub profile where I upload my codes and projects that I'm working on. You can check it out. I'll be leaving my GitHub profile link in the description. You can go and check it out. So now that the prerequisites for this part of the tutorial is going to be having a basic GitHub account. You can, if you don't have, you just need to go to github.com and you can create your account there. And after you've created your account, you just need to go to the profile section and just click on new on your repositories here, and just click on the new repositories button here. And here on clicking new repositories, you will have to fill in some details that's going to be here. So I'm just going to do git learn. I've already created it while practicing for this video. So I'm going to be doing git video. I'm going to do that. So if you want to give a description, it's optional. So I'm just going to give, say, git YouTube video. And you can keep this public, private, it's up to you. Just go ahead, and you don't need to add any licenses at the moment. Just you can just go ahead and click on create repository, and in a few seconds the repository will get created. So now we're going to be pushing these codes to GitHub. So here you can see push an existing repository from the command line. So here you can, before we need to get the remote add origin command, so that our Git tool knows exactly where do we have to push the code from our desktop. So I'm just going to go, you just need to go here, copy, you will be given a specific code here which you have to add. Just go ahead, copy it, go to your command prompt, just paste it in here, and you can see the code has successfully been sent. Now we're going to be using the git remote /v, which is going to be telling us whether our origin has successfully been set properly. I'm going to do git remote v. Oops, my bad, it's remote. You can see that to push the codes is going to be the origin has been set, and to fetch that, if there's a code here that I want to fetch from there, I need to use this part of it. So now here I've passed the first command, and now we're going to be using the git branch. We're going to be going to the main branch. That's going to be git branch. So next we're going to be copying the second command that is there here, git branch -main. So we're just going to run these commands blankly. We're just going to click on enter, and then the last one we're going to be this is one of the most important ones, because this is going to be pushing it to the origin main. That's going to be the repository. We're going to click here, just click on enter, and in a few seconds everything will be sent to the repository. And now if you go here and I refresh the repository, you can see my largest.py, multiply.py, new.py file has successfully been pushed to the GitHub repository from my command line. Now here you can see that there is only the main branch, but if we go back to our command prompt and if we do git branch, we can see that we have 3 branches, but here there is only one. So now we're going to be pushing these branches to GitHub. So what we're going to be doing is we need to do git push _u. It's going to be -u, and now we need to specify origin. That's going to be that is the repository here. And now we need to specify the name of the branch that you want to push. So I'm going to be doing -u origin dev code. I'm going to click on enter, and the dev code has been sent. And if I refresh it here, I can see 2 branches here have successfully come in. And if I click here and see the default branches and the dev code branches here, dev code and the main one, but the third branch, that is the rn/code, has not been done. So it's going to be the same command. You just need to change the name of the branch that you want to push. It's going to be rn/code, and I'm going to enter. And if I go back here, I can see the 3 branches, rn code, main, and the dev code, have successfully been pushed to GitHub. Now we're going to be talking a bit about collaboration on GitHub. Now that we have learned how to use Git and GitHub, we pushed some codes, we created repositories. So let's move on towards collaboration on GitHub. So there are basically 2 to 3 ways by which you can collaborate on GitHub. That is the first one is make an open source by forking a repository. The second one is going to be adding collaborators. So we will be covering both of these topics in depth in a few minutes. Before that, let's take a look at what is open source. Open source is a term that originally referred to open source software, OSS. Open source software is code that is designed to be publicly accessible. Anyone can see it, modify, and distribute the code as they see fit. Now we're going to be going step by step. First, we're going to be seeing how to add collaborators to GitHub, and then we're going to be seeing how to use then we're going to be looking at how to make open source or how to do open source on GitHub. So I'm going to be going to my settings here, and you just need to click on manage access here. And here you can see you haven't invited yet, but if you click on the add people, you just need to put in the username that they have on GitHub. So if I just say test user, you can add anyone. You can just click on enter, and the user will get added to your GitHub repository. So for now, I have a person that is git It's going to be git tester 123. That's an extra account I created. I'm going to click on enter, and you just need to click on add git tester to this repository. That's going to be the name of the person you want to add. Now here you can see on clicking the add people, the collaborator has successfully been added. Now all you have to do is wait. As soon as the git tester 123 or the account that you added accepts it, now then you can work together. Now we're going to be taking a look at forking on GitHub. So for forking creates your own copy of a repository in a remote location, for example GitHub. So this means you will have an own copy of the code that you'll be able to contribute to the changes that you make to the repository. I have an extra account here, that is the git tester. So I'm just going to go to my account here, and I'm going to be forking one of the repositories that I have here. Go to Nirani. So if you want to fork the repository that I'll be working with, I'll be leaving that link in the description. You can work with it. So here I'm going to go to the repository. I'm going to click on this git video one. And to fork a repository, you need to go to the top right here, and you can click on fork your own copy of Nirani / the name of the repository to the account. Oops, let's go back here. I'm going to click, and I'm going to click on fork, and in a few seconds a copy of the exact repository will be added to my list. So now after the repository is created, you can make your own changes, and you can add more codes and do anything you want with the code, since this won't be affecting my repository that I am working on. Now that we have talked about forking a repository, it's time to talk about cloning. It's time to talk about cloning a repository on your desktop and start writing and pushing codes to it. So what is git clone? The git clone command is a git command line utility which is used to target an existing repository and create a clone on it, or copy the repository into your computer. We're going to be using the git clone command to clone the repository on our desktop. To clone the repository, I'm going to go here, and you have to click on the code one, and you have to take this HTTPS link. I'm just going to click on copy. Now I'm just going to go to my command line. I'm going to go to command prompt. So now that we've copied the link, the command for that is going to be git clone. I've come into my HP, the user's HP. I'm just going to go to my desktop here, and I'm going to be doing git clone followed by the link, and I'm going to click on enter, and it's going to say cloning into git video, and the repository, the git video, has successfully been cloned to our computer. Now I'm just going to be doing the dir command. That's going to be showing the contents of the directory. You can see the blog. Oops, I did the dir for my desktop. Just I'll have to change it to the git video one. So we get video. And now if I do the dir command, it's going to be telling me the largest.py, multiply.py, and the new.py files that we created. So here we have successfully cloned a repository from the GitHub. Now to work with it, to add and commit, you to use the exact same commands that we have previously talked about. You can switch to the previous part of the videos. Now the last topic for this video is going to be making a pull request. To create a pull request and collaborate on changes to a repository. These changes are proposed in a branch which ensures that the default branch only contains finished and approved work. So now after I make changes in this, I'm going to be sending a request to the owner of the repository, and after the owner of the repository accepts the changes, he can do merge. He can merge it, and the code files will get merged together. So until now, we have been making changes in our own GitHub repository by creating a pull request. We're going to be sending the change request that we have made to the main repository to accept the new changes. To create a pull request, follow these steps. I'm just going to go. I'll be opening up this folder here. To open folder. And now I'm going to be making some changes here. I'm just going to do print. I'm just going to add a print here, the new changes. Click save here. So now that we've made the changes, we're just going to be doing the git commit here. We're going to be doing git add, and the file name is going to be largest.py. And then I'm going to be doing git commit, and here I'm going to be doing new changes made. So now here you can see I've made some changes, and now I'm currently one commit. So currently you can see this branch I have currently I've made some changes here, and here you can see this branch is one commit ahead of RNirani123, the main one. So now I'm going to be creating a pull request here by clicking on contribute, and I'm going to be clicking on open pull request. Then here you can just review the changes, the new changes made. You can just check it out here. And now you can just once again verify here the new changes made is exactly same here. So after you're done, you can just review it. You can just click on create pull request. Here you can either put a message and you can leave extra comments, but I'm just going to send create pull request. And in a few seconds, the pull request will get added. Now if I go to my main branch, that's the main GitHub here, you can see the pull request here. There is one pull request that has been sent here. So I can just click on it, and I can see update.large has been made by the git tester 123, and here I can just look at all the changes that are made here, and if I find them good, I'm just going to click on merge pull request, and then the confirm merge, it will just say merge the pull request from git tester 123, and I'm going to click on confirm merge, and the changes will get merged to our main repository. So now the changes have successfully made. In other words, whatever we have done in this part of the tutorial is known as open source contribution. This is how you can contribute to open repositories or work on projects with friends and more. So this is all for the Git and GitHub tutorial. We have covered a lot in this video. We started out by talking about Git, followed by installing it and setting it up on your desktop. Next, we created our first GitHub repositories, used some Git commands for staging, adding, committing, getting the branches and more. Then we created separate branches to work on. Then we looked at collaboration, forking a repository, cloning a repository, and in the end, making a pull request. So I hope you understood. I hope this tutorial has helped you, and I hope this tutorial will get you started on your Git and GitHub journey. If you have any questions, you can email me on my email address rinirani123@gmail.com. I will be leaving a Google Doc link in the description that will contain all the commands sequentially that we have done in this video. If you like this video, then don't forget to like, share, and for more content, hit the subscribe button. I will see you in the next one.